Hi, we got Real Women Revealed here at the A-Loft in Tempe, Arizona, and I got my beautiful real women with me today. And what we're going to talk about is mean girls. Are women really mean to each other? So we're going to go around, and I'm just going to ask you ladies a question to get it started. And I'm going to ask you just to name one or two things. Now, we don't have to go into a big conversation about it, but I just want to hear what you have to say first. Name one or two things why you feel women can't get along with each other, or maybe why they're mean to each other. And we'll start with Tamika.
I would say personal self-esteem.
That they can't.
They can't get along with each other.
So is it their
lack of personal self-esteem?
Gotcha. Chanel.
I'm definitely gonna agree with Tamika. It has to do with insecurities, lack of self-esteem, and then that builds up the jealousy and the envy.
All right, Charlene.
Well, I think that was the answer I was going with, is enviousness.
Okay. Aisha?
I definitely agree with the self-esteem thing. I think if they could lower somebody to make themselves look a little better, look a little brighter in front of whoever they are, they're going to do that.
Okay. I want to ask you guys too, because I thought about the questions that I asked you guys. I think about it myself. And one or two things that I think that women are envious or get mad at each other, it has to do with the man. I think a man plays a part in it, in my opinion, because it could be the only reason that these two women do not like each other is because of a man. Do you guys agree or disagree? Do you think that could be a part of it? Because I have known women that, under the circumstances, I think they get along great with each other. They just happen to be dating the same guy and they found out about it, so they don't like each other.
Yeah,
that's the only reason that they don't like each other.
And that's where the jealousy comes from, because it's like, okay, well, why does he want to be with her? Why he don't want to be with me? What she got that I don't have? So again, it's that competition arises within them to try to figure out why somebody wants to cheat on you. Not look at him and say, well, he's in the wrong. He the one that's sitting up here trying to talk to me and her at the same time.
Right,
Let's be mad at him. But no, I'm going to be mad at her.
I think another reason, too, sometimes that women, in my opinion, what will just off the cuff for me is I thought about a man and just the physical look of a woman. Yeah. You could just walk in a place and a woman will, you don't know her from Adam, from what her heartaches or where her walk, but because you look a certain way or dressed a certain way or your hair's a certain way, they automatically kind of give you the nose turn up. Yeah, it's a prejudgment. Do you guys get that, or have you ever encountered that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to see, is it just me? Or
See, I haven't had, in terms of the issue with the man, that I haven't really experienced. I know that happens. So I don't disagree.
Right.
But that hasn't. Most of, I think, the challenges I've had with women is it really stems from enviousness, insecurity, I hate to say it, but ignorance. And ignorance is just simply you don't know. And if you see a woman walk in a room and she's well suited and she's confident, you know, I see women who seem to have a
problem with that.
Yeah.
So
and
that would be,
somehow we project onto other people our own insecurities.
Right.
And, you know, but I think it's important for women to realize, as you're ascending, you need to surround yourself with people that are going in the same direction you're going. And then you can start to minimize some of that.
I agree with Charlene. A lot of people who are insecure, they try to pawn their insecurities off on you. They try to make me feel bad about myself because I'm fabulous. I can't help it who I am. Why don't you look inside yourself and find the fabulousness wherever it is.
Right.
And channel that and embrace that.
Yeah.
You know what? I seen that even as a little girl. I know that I would sometimes see women at the mall, or I remember my mother had a friend. I went to her house. It always smelled good. It was always clean. It was always color coordinated. I loved everything about her. I didn't say, ugh, why can't my mom be like that? I was just like, wow, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
That's something that I want to emulate. And I think sometimes as women, we're afraid to admit that. We may be afraid to say that we may admire another woman. That's perfectly fine to admire another woman, because being around that woman can really help you realize and understand who you are. You don't necessarily have to be a clone of that person, but you can just take note. It's
going to always be a little bits of pieces, and I think that's where how women connect. it may be something I like about you, the way you handle your business. It may be something about you, the way you interact with people, or the way that, your friendships are. So I think it's a little piece that you admire that you say, well, hey, that's a good thing. I think it makes you look at yourself sometimes to say, okay, maybe I should, and like you said, not a clone, but it can make you better yourself, self-improvements,
But everything turns on what you come from. So if you come from an environment where maybe you've been around women that are positive, or somehow something has been imparted upon you that you have a desire to be positive, that's what I think you begin to exude, and that's what you begin to attract. But the problem is there are a lot of us who don't have positive examples. We don't have positive life experiences, whether it's a man, children, work, racism, sexism, whatever. There are a lot of challenges that we experience, and then we don't know how to channel that into something positive. So I think it is a challenge.
Let me ask Tamika and Aisha, you guys work with in the fashion and hair industry, makeup. So you encounter women all day long. I mean, in the workforce we do too, but your demographic is women. So in that, and because you know how the phrase, or what happens at the beauty shop, you always hear something at the beauty shop or the barber shop or the guy. So what do you, and then I'll ask you, Aisha, Tamika, what do you see in the beauty salon, in the industry,
Beauty shop talk,
that you like, that you really feel good about? Like, wow, I love being in this business, great sisterhood that I see. And what is this one thing that you wish would be different, if there's something different?
The one thing I love about the beauty shop or working with the industry is helping someone achieve that self-esteem. Just being able to transform someone, and they come in and, oh, my hair's a wreck, or look at my face, my skin is bad, anything, and then by the time they're leaving out, halfway through the service, okay, they like flipping. You see them transform.
You see them transform. That's good. That's good. Okay.
So that's
a great
actually,
positive.
Right. That's actually what I love about it. I love being able to give that transformation and seeing someone just perk up. And even, people go through. You sitting there and you hear the stories from one extreme to the next. So just to be able to hear that and hear what people have gone through, and just to be able to be a part of that, that's the part. So
that's the positivity. Is there any negative that you see in that area, that in that type of salon, of the beauty salon atmosphere, that you wish would be different or could change? Or
I don't.
Okay.
I don't see anything, because I do see once someone, if it is someone in the salon, you get a lot of people who are giving compliments and building women up in there. So that I do enjoy. So
we need to do a taping in the salon then.
Yes.
Right? Okay, I got that on tape.
That would be a great thing. Okay. That would be a great thing.
From the stereotype.
Right.
Aisha,
so what about you,
Aisha?
Wow.
Okay, keep it real.
I definitely say the good part is the transformation. For me, I work with a lot of little kids, so it's empowering them, letting them know that they're beautiful, and seeing them grow, you know what I mean? How their style changes, what they like, what they don't like now, and just giving them bits and pieces of what I can give them about beauty and hair and everything.
Okay.
What I don't like, I would say, is the perception of beauty. I have a lot of young girls that come in and they want their hair straight.
Good point, Aisha.
Different race, what they see at school. So it's just letting them know that they're beautiful, and how to work with what they have, how to make their hair flow like that.
Okay, awesome, great. Those are great. What I want to ask you guys next, and I'll start with you, Chanel. I want to find out, have you ladies ever have you ever had a female supervisor or boss and a male boss? And was there a difference in the way you felt you were supervised under a woman's hand versus a man's hand? And we'll start with you, Chanel, and then we'll come to you, Charlene.
I think it's different situation. I think it depends on what kind of woman it is. When you instantly said that.
Well, not necessarily what type of woman. Of course, it's going to be what type of woman. I want you to tell me how you felt the difference. Was there a difference?
So I can think of a positive response to the first woman that I met when I started doing insurance. I love everything about her. She got me going. She was shy. She had nice white collar pop outfit. beautiful hair, lipstick. She had it, and she believed in me, and she poured into me, and I really did appreciate her, and I really did like her. But then again, I had another female boss who was kind of like, just kind of giving me the side
What's that
eye.
mean?
It was kind of like it was just kind of like a side eye, and I just kind of, she was an older lady, a little bit overweight, and I'm not saying because she looked the way she looked, she felt that way, but I felt as if she was just pushing stuff off on me. She never really had nothing good to say to me. I was pumping out big numbers for the company, so I was doing what I was supposed to do, but she was never really encouraging to me or never really gave me a compliment. And actually, I kind of looked up to her as an elder, as somebody who's been in the business, who could really help share some knowledge and help share some information with me.
Right.
As far as with having a male boss, I have not noticed, for me personally, not really necessarily much difference.
From the ones, you haven't noticed any much difference from maybe the male boss you have now or in the past versus those two females that you just described to us. There was not a difference in the way that you saw them supervise you?
No.
Okay.
And that's just because I work very little with multiple employees. And then when I did insurance, I was kind of like independent, you know.
Okay.
But it was just kind of a different style.
Okay.
But no.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
I think I have. I'm gonna come to you. I think I have, and the reason why I want to know is because I have felt, I've worked in corporate America a lot of years, and I've seen the difference. For me, I have personally seen the difference of working for a man versus a woman. It seems like it was always a competition, or maybe did I know more than she knew, or so it was, the reins were much tighter because it was a woman. Where it was a male, it seemed like this is what you do, and how can I help you get to the next level? And not to say all men, like, I just seen that there's a difference. What about you, Charlene?
I do too. I feel like the women, I agree with you, they're much more threatened. It is much more competitive. And I have worked primarily in a legal environment. And even when I did charitable tax planning, it was still, kind of very corporate, predominantly, really all Caucasian. I've never had an actually I had one African-American supervisor, and that was back when I was in law school. But I find that even when I go into the courtroom with the women, when I'm dealing with a female attorney, I already expect I'm going to get a lot of resistance, a lot of defensiveness, competitiveness. And the men,
that's really a compliment.
I'm not going to say that the men have been, I don't think the men are mentoring, so that's not, I think with the men, I feel like they look at my credentials and they expect me to do my job, and they give me the latitude to do my job. And I think with women, if they don't have the same credentials that you have, I think they're more threatened about whether or not you're going to ultimately replace them. So.
You can expound on that, Aisha. What about? I saw you nodding your head over there.
I would say that I've seen the good side and the bad side. I've experienced having a good female leadership interaction and bad, because I also did the life insurance thing like you did, Chanel. And my male manager, he was willing to help me, willing to show me different things. The female manager, she was just throwing you to the wolves. She wasn't trying to help you.
Let you make your own mistakes. Huh?
Yeah, she's like, fall and you can figure it out. Where he's like, do it this way, or say it this way, or bring it across this way. So I would say I've seen both sides of it.
Yeah, and I have too. I had a great a female manager years ago who taught me a lot about the ins and out of corporate America. So I won't say it's all, and maybe not most, but I have just seen sometimes the difference. And even you hear sometimes how they say about a female cop versus a woman cop. It's like, because she has to try to make sure that, hey, I can succeed at my job just as well as a man can. You kind of get that?
Or if you offer something, or if you have more to offer, because there sometimes can be a woman on the job who's been in that position, and then you come in, and then you are bright and starry-eyed, and then sometimes people might gravitate to you more. You might be more of the people person, and then they just kind of like,
And it could be it could be race, it could be the age dynamic, it could be
age dynamic is definitely, I've seen that.
And they may not have the same credentials that you have, but perhaps they've been in the company longer and they've kind of promoted through the ranks, and then to see you come in making the same salary that they're making, and you're just walking through the door, that within itself can create some tension.
So, if you guys had to choose, would you choose a male or female?
Male.
What about you, Chanel?
Personality. Personality is winning with me.
Male or female? Just point blank, not answer it cut and dry.
There's no
Male
gray
or
area.
female? Exactly.
I'm not want to say a gray area. Just everybody is different. If I had a strong, dynamic female who could be a great mentor, that would be wonderful. And if I had a strong male mentor,
I like
that would,
I like that.
that would be wonderful.
What about you?
I'm an entrepreneur, so
So what-
I can work
She's
with
like, I'm not
anybody.
worried about it.
Okay. I mean, I feel the same way too. I mean, if we were in the situation, I'm not making you guys say something that you wouldn't do. If you were thrown in the
I
situation,
wanna
you had
see
to make
woman.
a choice.
A woman that I admire. A woman that's doing
What
great
about you,
things.
Aisha?
I would say a male only because they're not as emotionally connected in certain things. Like a woman has
That's
high
big.
days, low days. You don't know which day you're gonna get.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's
Where
big.
a man is kind of a little bit more.
And if I had to choose, it would be a male for me, and it's because of that. You know, I think
But
sometimes.
that's a stereotype, though. That's
No,
like
and I'm not-
saying
no, what I'm
all
gonna-
women, because we have certain hormonal things, that we tend to be more emotional than men.
Women are more emotional, in my opinion, than men are anyway. We're just more of an emotional creature, in my opinion. I think that we just, whether it was whatever, whether it's a breakup of a relationship, I think women are just emotional creatures.
I don't think that's all women. I think that's very stereotypical.
I
don't
just think
that's
that
true.
No, I'm not saying that necessarily is
think
true.
it's,
I
like,
think
all
so. Do
bad.
you think men are more emotional creatures than women?
I think that it depends. When you say someone who manages you,
No,
you're
I'm
talking
okay.
about
Now
your
let's not go back to
coworkers.
that
You're
because you
talking about
guys
people
took
at a
it.
certain
You
level.
guys took it off the subject. Since you guys
Okay.
took it off the subject that I didn't have it where we
Okay,
wasn't
well,
going.
since
Right. Since this is Audrey. And Audrey. Right. So we gonna digress a little bit. So, do you feel that men or women are more emotional creatures?
Women.
I still think it's stereotypical. If
Okay.
I look at myself, I don't think I'm an emotional creature.
Women, because I believe the up and
Okay.
down.
And so I think if I believe I'm an exception, then to say every other woman is emotional.
No, and I don't think everything could be 100% to say all women are great bad drivers or all men are great drivers. I'm just thinking of the higher percentage. So you just don't think it is. What about you, Aisha?
I don't see it really being as a bad thing. I could see it as
No, not necessarily a bad
women
thing.
get emotionally
We're just-
saying Tamika works for me, and
Because women may be more nurturing than men. We raise children and rearing children.
You know what I mean? I did all this time with her, and you know what I mean. She's not giving me what I want, but I also don't want to lose her. You know what I mean? So it's just harder for a woman, I think, supervising.
What about you, Tamika? Because you said you'd rather work for a man, but what about, since we kind of, do you think women or men are emotionally balanced, or you feel women are more emotional than
No,
men?
women and men are not the same. We don't think the same. We don't think along. I mean, you can give us a topic. If you asked a man that, he spit it out within a minute. Where we like,
We gotta
well,
explain
right,
and
like Chanel.
expound.
Well,
Well-
hold on now. Is it going to be a this or is it going to be a that? You know, there's just so much involved with the woman that.
I won't do it anymore, okay?
Emotional? Is that emotional?
Emotional.
We're gonna have to take a break so we can have an emotional. No, I'm just kidding.
Can't that be that a woman is circumspect, that women are more kind of intuitive, they're more analytical, they're not black and white, but they're gray? What I'm hearing us say, and I just want to be honest, is the same argument that men have made for keeping women out of corporate high-level positions, whether it's president and CEO of Fortune 500 companies or management. That is that we're emotional and that we're unable to supervise staff because of that emotion.
I don't think
that. Yeah.
This is not general. This is not a general question. I think what Audrey is trying to ask us from our experience, from previous jobs that we had, previous careers that we worked. What have we seen from some of our past managers, supervisors, or employers? Not just the overall general statement.
Not all women.
And personally for myself, I would prefer to work for a male boss because they're just not. I've had the experience for working with a female and a black female at that, that she just kind of tore you down, you know, and she ended up just kind of, I lost my job for no reason at all, like just no reason, just one day, just, you know, and she happened to become my boss at the time, and it was just a horrible experience.
Yeah, I would love to work for a dynamic woman. If I really, I mean, if I could expound on what I want, but just off the cuff, if somebody said right now, yes or no, you know, I would say a man. But I would really love to work for a dynamic woman, somebody that I could maybe follow. They could mentor me a bit on whatever the case may be.
If the woman is secure in herself, then yes.
Makes
but
the world
if the woman
difference.
doesn't have security in herself, then it causes problems. And that's where I find it, where it's more of a man or a female, because the men typically are a little more secure in themselves.
Yeah.
So they don't have to downplay another person. They don't have to do any
Or
of that.
cocky.
Where the female, if they're not secure in themselves, they do that.
Well, would they do it with other men though? Maybe they wouldn't do it. Maybe they wouldn't feel superior with the. I mean, you know, with that with the woman.
You're
but
right.
if it was a group of men, would then the testosterone start coming out?
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
You know what I'm
You're
saying? So then
absolutely
they gotta who
the
can
chest.
flex the most
Yeah.
because it's all men. So
absolutely
But then
right.
also, do we as women expect that when we work with women that they're going to mentor us, that they're going to understand us, and that they're going to connect with us more than we expect that from men?
I just want a good working relationship. I want to just get the job done. If you see me come in and do what I'm supposed to do and exceedingly above and beyond, I respect that. I respect people who do great at what they do. That's what I admire about them. So I think that's where the connection comes in, that I'll be like, wow, I really admire this about this person. Maybe I can learn. If they're not going to teach me, maybe I can subliminally learn by just kind of watching some things that they do. So I wouldn't say have expectations. Sometimes you do. That may be for me because I can appreciate like a mother figure, so I would like that type of nurturing. But should I not receive that, I am a grown woman and I can decipher which may work best for me and take those nuggets that I see from some other women that I may work with.
interesting. That's a really. I mean, we could probably go
On and on.
on and on with this one. With you know, but I think that it's a good topic to talk about, and to even sometimes we can look at ourselves, like you made a point, Charlene, do we expect to connect? So I think in that, and looking at the man in the mirror, make sure you give off what you would like to expect back. So, I mean, as long as you know you're doing that, then your expectation should be, well, hey, yeah, I want her to mention me, or I want her to be non-emotional, but that's another question.
But don't let that make you feel bad, because sometimes when that woman is being emotional, it's kind of like they snapping at you, and you're like, well, what did I do? What I've learned, and what I've learned through a training class, is that to stop being so emotional. You know, sometimes you may want to bring something to your boss, and you just like, I can't believe that they behave this way towards me. And when you're talking to them, you feel yourself tearing up or choking up. What I really learned how to do is that you really have to suppress that. And you really have to, if you have to practice at home, just to get your point across, just to make sure that you're being respected and that you are being heard. Because we can get emotional. But the point is in a professional atmosphere, don't get caught up in that. If somebody coming in and they having a bad day, do you. I turn on my gospel and I light my candle and have peace and serenity. I'm not letting none of that negative spirit over here. I'm gonna keep it moving. So we have to. We kind of. What do you say?
I said, Chanel's like, I'm shutting it out. All the walls are up.
Because you know what? Sometimes that women, that's that insecurity and that's that low self-esteem that they trying to push off on you again to make you feel bad. Like, I'm having a crappy day. Well, let me go ahead and piss her off too and make her feel the same way.
Misery love company almost.
We got to take ownership of our feelings and not be so vulnerable sometimes in the workplace as women too.
Okay. All right, ladies. Thanks for that. So on to the next. Do you believe that, not all, majority, most, some, a little, do you believe that women are comfortable about gossiping about other women?
Comfortable?
Comfortable? Okay, Charlize, since you.
That's like-
Go ahead.
It's like
Charlize,
Take it away. Okay.
Hold no more.
Okay. So do you believe most women, are comfortable? Or
I do.
why do you believe that?
I've just observed it and actually believe, and I've said this, I don't have a lot of female relationships. I mean, I have a couple, you all, but I don't have a lot of female relationships for that very reason. I don't gossip.
Okay.
If
So you don't have an ear for it?
No.
So if somebody came to you with gossip, it's dying with you? That's good. That's awesome.
You don't respond back. Charlene don't respond back to gossip. She would just be like,
I just hear what you're saying. I put it in my mental Rolodex. And I keep
Because you know what? Gossip, a lot of times, and what I found, and even being, I mean, I have in my life,
sure.
I've gossiped about somebody.
Sure.
But as I've gotten older, I've learned to try and take that away and actually not have an ear for it, because what I found that it can do is, if we were talking and you just told me about, oh, Jane Doe is this, that, and the other. So when Jane Doe walks in, I'm not going to even really give her a chance because I'm listening to gossip.
Yeah.
So it's misguided information that I won't give that person
so
a
it's gonna
chance.
affect your opinion of the person.
Exactly,
But also,
exactly,
You never know where what comes out of your mouth is going to go.
exactly.
Someone is now going to take that and spread that around, and I just don't want to be at the butt of that.
Tamika, you don't talk about gossiping women?
Yeah, you know, and I think that sometimes some people do it more than others, you know. I mean, and some people, that's what they're known for, right?
They got the gossip.
They known to be Bonita Betrayal, okay?
Okay.
Bonita!
That's not nobody say that.
You go
Bonita!
They got the info on everybody, okay? Did you hear? Yes, okay. Yeah, so, and gossip, I mean, in the beauty shop, we hear,
hear everything.
And granted, you know, we're in the beauty shop and we talking about the entertainment gossip. Ooh, did you hear about
Beyonce and Jay-Z?
Right,
Yeah, so it's gossiping about
It
not
is.
just us common folk, but
It is.
Everybody.
but you want to gossip about everybody. Okay.
And a lot of times I think that people, I mean, like, because in the beauty shop when it's gossip and we're talking about like entertainment gossip, it's just more to kind of start conversation and try to kind of get a
break
feel
the
on what
water.
people exactly what people think, you know, with certain situations and you know, just to kind of get some laughter out of the situation. You know, we have a variety of stylists from 50 plus to, you know, the youngest stylist.
Yeah, and that's good.
25.
Nice
So,
diversity.
Right. So when you hear certain things, you know, you hear the older women, "Ooh, girl, I'm gonna tell you right now, don't do that." You know, it's like, but hold on, what if you do this? You know, oh, you ain't lived long enough. You know, so it's just, you know, a lot of that going on.
So do you feel that too, that the person that you say, the Bonita, that got all the gossip, that they're really trying to divert the attention or their insecurities off of them so that they can gossip about other people, so you don't look at them, you look at who's being gossiped about? You wanna
Yes.
go with that, Chanel?
Yes.
Wanna
expand on that one? Yeah, you know what? I was going to say, I think sometimes women utilize the gossip because when you come from dysfunctionality, or if you picked up this dysfunctional lifestyle, sometimes you don't even know how to build a relationship with anybody. Sometimes you don't even know where to start. So you got chaos right off the rip. And sometimes people utilize that chaos to try to get close to other people. To try to say, oh, do you feel the same way?
Right.
Oh, good, girl, because
Right.
I need somebody who will know where I'm coming from. Sometimes they do. And a lot of times it's that they don't really have any conversation for themselves. They can't really tell you anything good that's going on in their life or anything
except
good
for
to
gossip,
share.
their whole
Except for talking about other people, again, like you said, to divert it off of
For
them.
them.
So you don't look at them and say, wow, well, I'm not really doing this. Yeah, I'm still on welfare. Yeah, I still go shopping and buy an outfit at a time. Yeah, I'm going to go to the club and don't pay my tithes.
now
I
that
mean,
might be a subject right
But-
there. Okay.
But my point is that sometimes they do it to utilize it to take the spotlight off of
For
them.
them.
And then sometimes they use it. I know it sounds twisted and weird, chaotic, dysfunctionality, because they don't know how to build a relationship. They try to see where you're coming from and hoping that you agree with them so they can hope you can have something in common.
Now you connect with someone.
Now I feel like I got somebody who is really there, because let's be honest, sometimes we don't come from families that may be close, or we come from families that women may not really got along. I can remember I had somebody in my family that talked down to me. They used to call me yellow banana. I had a stigma about myself being light-skinned, that I was just different, that I just stood up for some reason like I wasn't black like the rest of them. And it's just kind of like, wow, that's what you would want to share with me, opposed to saying, let me show you how to sit like a lady when you go to a fine dining restaurant.
Right.
Let me show you how to have a conversation when you can be around amongst other women. The thing is that with these mean girls, this is things that's been going on for years and years and years. these dysfunctional relationships with men, these in and out of dating various people, because they don't really know themselves. Be one with yourself. You know, it took me some time to really get to know myself when I came here. I had to be by myself to understand who Chanel really is.
Good to be by yourself. That's a positive.
You'll be what the gossipers say about you. You'll find yourself turning into people who used to say about you growing up and being who you were. So I think it's really, really important, again, to have that self-esteem within yourself and be happy with who you are and however you are. I love having beautiful friends. I got a flock of them.
Right.
Okay. I keep them on deck. Take your choice. Take your choice. You know what I mean? But I think it's ultimately about us connecting with one another and then finding the best out of one another. Charlene, if you got something to share with me, an idea that you want to do, I'm like, how can I best help you? I want to see you succeed. This is awesome. What can I do to help put it
assist,
in?
to move it along? Right. That is awesome. What about you, Aisha? I know in the business too, you know.
What I've seen, not so much in the business, but just seeing what I've
Women,
seen is
okay.
like a girl will be trying to connect with you, right? So she'll hear something about Chanel and she'll say to you and try to see your ideas and what you think about it, and then she's in with you, so you start talking to her about it, you know what I mean? She's trying to get in with her, so she takes your stuff and talks to her about it, you know what I mean? And just keeps the focus off of the crap that she's personally doing.
I really believe that. I really believe
so many times that I'm just like,
I really believe
ridiculous.
with gossip, especially people who you see constantly. I know sometimes we hear stuff and it's just like, oh my goodness, it's burning. It's burning. This is hot off the presses.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying that somebody,
That's all you got to offer.
somebody that's always doing that, you really have to step back and look, because they're really trying to take the attention off of them.
And then the thing,
and because of the not positive issues that are going on in their life or lack of self-esteem. Go ahead.
I apologize, but
No.
the worst part about that is if they running and telling you gossip,
They
then
telling-
you know, they telling, you know, so you they
everybody.
go right to the next person and be like, girl, you heard what, you know, and just coming
I know
around
somebody
and
who
just,
still do that, and they over
man,
50
we
years
love-
old.
Yeah. And matter of fact,
I do. Yes,
We
I
just
do.
run-
Lots of people like that.
tons of people who do it. You know,
Yeah.
it's just you know that person for that. So at that point, even when they come to something, you can't even take what they say to
Really to be valid,
because
and
you
that's
like, now you're just
a
running around
very
just
good
talking.
point. Don't
Yeah.
take it as validity when they say it, because you
Yes.
know what they say,
Yeah.
what they come
I
with.
think, though, it's also possible that people gossip because they hear certain things that are shocking and they don't know how to deal with it.
No.
So let's say, for example, I'm talking to my girlfriend and I hear that her husband is abusive. He physically beats her.
Okay.
And then I call you up, Audrey, and I talk to you about it because maybe I don't know what to say to her, but I think you might have a closer
If you're talking to
relationship.
for her best interest,
Yeah.
you're coming to me
That's
to
all
say,
concerned.
hey Audrey, this is heavy on my heart or whatever. My friend's husband is being abusive or whatever. You're not going to Chanel, girl,
to
this
be
her
malicious
be
with
beating
it,
her
right?
behind
Yeah.
every day, and I don't want to hear that mess. I think it's the way you say it and how you take it to somebody, because if you do take
Your
it to
intent with
somebody,
it, yeah.
right, with the best interest for that person.
Or situational. Because it could be a situation thing. Like you said, if your friend came to you and you didn't know how to deal with it, you wanted to share with another woman to try to get her opinion. But when you know that somebody coming down the street, you can smell them when they coming. I don't want to deal with that person. I don't have that type of stuff in my life, and I don't have any room for it. So I will not feed into your negativity. You go hang around Nene and Boo Boo, and y'all entertain one another and stay at the bottom with the bottom feeders.
Boo-boo?
And I will continuously, and I will continue. And again, it has to do with being. I believe Charlene said this earlier. It's about being around women who uplift you and show you better. I know there's things that Tamika share with me, and if Tamika's sharing something with me that may be a goal for herself or something she's going through, I'm gonna try to get her the best advice possible, because I want to see her succeed, because I know she is shining star. So sometimes people need that encouragement or need that hand up just to help that come out of them, opposed to saying, dang, can I tell you, guess what she going through? Can you believe it? Why would I do that? It's such a betrayal.
It is betrayal.
It's such a betrayal to do that with someone. And then we need to learn how to talk to each other. If we have an issue with one another, just to talk to one another, opposed to going, because when I hear something secondhand or it come from somebody else, that's not Miss Nice Chanel.
Misguided information.
That means that I know that it came
Misguided
from like all these various sources. But are you really wanting to see the best in me, or do you want to see my demise? Some people want to see us crumble. They are waiting for us to. They are waiting
that
for
is
us
very
to mess up.
unfortunate.
And they want to go spread that so you cannot be looked at or people may not
That's
view
jealousy.
you
That's
or
envy.
held you up.
That's jealousy
once
and
they
envy
did.
is what it is.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I used to think that only people who were in a certain socioeconomic bracket did that. I used to think that people did that because they had a poverty mentality. I started dealing with women who had money, who had big expensive homes,
And got
they
a
were
poverty
doing the
mentality.
same,
And
got
maybe
the
even
poverty
more.
Still got a
Poverty mentality.
The same mentality.
Ah.
And they're happy because when this market, this housing crash hit,
Ooh.
there were so many people happy to see people lose their homes.
Mm.
And I say, wow, what do you get out of seeing someone else suffer?
What's in you that makes you want to see that type of, heartache on somebody? That's
Because it makes them feel better because they don't got really much going on in their life.
Yeah.
So everything
Jealousy
they got,
and envy.
they trying to hold on to it. I'm just keep polishing this and say I got this and wear this and say I got that, opposed to really giving. Why don't you be a sister to that person? Why don't you try to help her find a new place to live or hook her up with a realtor
because
that
they
you know
want
is legit?
Yeah. All right, ladies. So we're gonna move right along, and we're gonna talk about competition.
Yay.
We get ready to go play some basketball. No, just kidding.
Get your sweats ready, huh?
Right, no, competition, and even with sports, my daughters play basketball, and I think healthy competition is good. It nurtures them in a certain type of way with other women. We're competitive, but we're coming together. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that kind of competition. We're talking about unhealthy competition, I guess I could say, that we see maybe in women, and based on a lot of things that we talked about earlier, maybe the jealousy and envy, does competition fall into that? Do you see where maybe you have a good friend or an associate or what have you, and you see something about competition, it's like you're always battling over something? Chanel?
I actually had dealt with that growing up, and I had some friends that I went through that with. Again, it's about knowing who you are, right? So my thing is if I'm great at volleyball and you may be great at singing, don't be mad at me because I'll be spiking that balls on the head like that. You should encourage me to always go out there and give my best and do my best. What's unhealthy about that is that, let's say that I'm completing a goal and it's my goal to have a fashion show, right? But then you want to try to go out there and put on a fashion show. Not say, Chanel, let me help you so we can be dynamic together.
We can fabulous.
So we can just really just do it over the top together. Right. How about let me go out and try to do something else to one-up you? But I'm going to stick around you because I want to see what you got going on so I can go back home and write on my notepad to see what I can do to one-up you. It's completely unacceptable. It's really, really, really sad. And it needs to be like intervention right there. Seriously.
Competition intervention. That's like a workshop.
I think it's something that needs to be done because, again, everybody has their own talents.
Sure.
Everyone has their own gifts and their own strengths. So why would you be mad to see somebody else succeed? Are you afraid that you can't succeed? Do you feel as if you are a failure?
They're going to say, I thought of that first. I was going to do that.
But it's not necessarily that. You need to think of something else. If you have gifts and talents, utilize those. I think it's really unfair, and I do not want to be around a person. I don't want to be around a woman who feels as if she has to be in competition with me because you will lose. Not saying that you're going to lose. You're going to lose.
Baby, did you hear that?
If you didn't know, you're going to lose.
Not to say that you're going to lose because if we're battling one another, but we all possess something different. I may be greater in another strength that you may not be. You may have a greater aspect to bring to the table.
And now you got to show how to complement those so that the differences really become one big strength.
Because it's not saying it's all me. Some people never had the spotlight on them before. Some people never really had the opportunity to shine. So they want to ride on somebody else's coattail and make it look like them. That's selfish. I don't like that. That's ugly.
What about you, Tamika, the competition? You see that a lot, or have you been through it yourself?
I haven't personally been through it myself, but I have seen other people go through it. I mean, like, I have a dear coworker friend of mine that I swear that one of her good friends does that.
Wow.
Like every single time we turn around, I'm like, why has she got the same dress on as you? Why is her hair the same way as yours? Why is this? And really, it just kind of think it just stems from that person's lack of self-confidence.
Still seem like it goes back to that's the common denominator.
That's the common denominator, just that person's lack of self-confidence. They look up so much to this other person that they just feel like they have to be. And I don't even know if they realize that they're trying to be this other person, but I'm like, if I tell you I'm wearing gold and blue and, and wearing my hair up like this, I'm not expecting.
Please don't
and I'm not in junior high, you know what I'm saying? Because in junior high, that's what
I
we're born
did that. I was
in junior high, that's what we want. Right, we did that.
Ninth grade, I did that.
Now as women, if I'm not saying we're dressing alike to do
because it's an event that we dress in alike.
But they're being a clone because they don't know who they are.
That's exactly.
Get to know who you are. You need to take some time by yourself.
Yep. What about you, lady Charlene? The competition, you see that? Has it happened to you?
I've had some really interesting experiences this last few months.
Oh, do share. Do reveal.
No, I'm not going to reveal.
You don't have to reveal the women, but you can reveal the scenario.
This is what I'm going to say. I believe you outgrow people, and I think you have to have enough maturity as a woman to know when you've outgrown someone.
Absolutely.
And once you make that decision, it's time for you to move forward.
When you say question, when you say
outgrown, I use that a lot because you do. Just like relationships sometimes with a man and a woman, women can outgrow each other. I think that.
And you have some women who are also very aggressive. So it's not all that, sometimes a woman can look at you and she can enlist your services, ideas, talent, your network, because she thinks you can help her do something.
That's a compliment in a sense.
And once she gets what she wants from you, she doesn't need you.
Snake.
Okay. We're going to talk about something.
Try to dominate.
I'm going to say this one word, but we're not going to talk about it. But you guys, I just love you guys because what we talk about flows right into the next thing. It does. It really does. It really does. And I mean, it's like, are you kidding me? Because we're going to talk about frenemies at the next one. But you see how you guys... So go ahead, Aisha.
Aisha, please tell us real. She's a very humble. She's very humble.
No, she going to tell it because she being revealed. Go ahead.
Please, share.
Well, I have experienced a different side of competition where I would walk into an environment and people would start talking about what I have on.
I talked earlier. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's it is.
Or something like that, instead of putting themselves together or asking me, what do you think? Should I have done this instead of that? Or how could I find this thing that you know what I mean? Instead of doing that, I experienced negativity and people perceiving me to be what I'm not. You know what I mean? Different things.
The worst.
Yeah, the worst instead of the best. So.
And then people that hear that or have an ear for it, then they look at you different and haven't got to know the real Aisha. You know what I'm saying? So that's about the gossip we talked about.
Because if I walked in and Chanel knows me, but Tamika doesn't know me, and Chanel starts saying stuff, Tamika's automatically going to think, well, oh, Aisha's this way and that way.
And that's why women, I think a lot of it, we don't get along or the closeness sometimes that we lack. Not saying that we all have to be best friends and hang out all the time together, but I think that's where some of the lack of the healthy friendship comes from, because you just take some of that unhealthy gossip or whatever, and then you don't even get to know you, like you said. So I think that's true. The competition with women, and you touched on it a little bit about, if I have something, why would you, if you're putting on a fashion show, why would you say, okay, I'm going to put on a fashion show, but try to call it something else? But it's still exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Why do that?
But why wouldn't I want to help you and say, guess what? This is great. Because
why is that? Why?
Because I am
told you that's who you are. The essence of who you are. As much as we want to believe everybody's like that, everybody is not like that. And that's why I'm saying you have to learn how to cut people off. When you see it, for years I used to be like, that can't be what I think it is. I was always second guessing.
That's that Leo, I think, because I do that.
Because I want to see the good in you. I want to believe that this negative that I'm sensing is not
it could
real.
Could be.
And then I had girlfriends who were like, why do you keep this person as a friend? Because this person does not mean you anything good.
No, not your best interest at hand.
I know some people don't have your best interest, but my thing is, again, like Charlene said, you just got to cut them off at that point when you see that. But my thing is, why not be stronger together? What in our upbringing have we not seen women working together? I had somebody tell me, who was in a pastoral position, like, well, I ain't trying to be close to women, because I had sisters.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
what the pastor said?
a woman passed it, and I was like, squall? I mean, I had to go there.
What'd you say, squall?
Squall? I'm like, word? Really? Because my thing is that I will look to you to say, no, I do want to foster these relationships, because we see people that are broken. You know, and it takes a certain kind of person to want to take that on, to listen to them, or to actually want to pour into them, or it could even be giving them a position or giving them a job. Charlene, think about when you had your intern. Remember you had your intern, and I was doing the event, and Charlene was like, let my intern come down here and help you for about an hour. We kept that girl down there all day because she didn't want to leave. She loved it, and it was great. And you know what? This young lady was in school. She was interning with you. I never been to law school. I'm not going to look at this young, beautiful young girl and say, no, I don't want to help her get there. I'm going to say, you know what, this is so phenomenal. Lord, thank you for using me to help this young lady gain exposure.
And that meant so much to her. And that's where I think we need to invest our energy. Let's invest energy in people who want that, as opposed to investing it in people
And trying
who
to crack
don't.
the shell to people who does
you
not.
exhaust yourself.
It can be exhausting. It can. Well, we hope that some of this will help
Yeah.
break. You
Break
know,
some
I
yolks.
don't. It might be one or two. So maybe that one or two can
Even just one.
can move on and be a domino effect. So,
That's true.
Um,
That's true.
if you could tell a woman one thing that's uplifting, what would you say? If you just said, if a camera was on you, which it is, I need you to. We're taking this to women wherever, you know, the broken down women or wherever that could be. What would that phrase or one word be to that woman or women?
Beauty. I think there's beauty in everything. It's just has to be revealed.
Oh, I like that. Okay. Chanel, what would that one word be or phrase?
My phrase would be, love yourself.
Love yourself. Charlene?
I would say, you know, as a single mom of 2 daughters, and I spend a lot of time really trying to encourage my daughters, putting my daughters around positive women as much as I can, it would be specifically to single moms, believe in yourself.
Okay.
Don't let your past define or limit your future. Believe in yourself.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Aisha?
Good one.
I think I would say find you. Figure yourself out.
Okay.
Find what you're good at and roll with it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay. Now we're just going to go into the frenemy. Oh, the dreaded frenemy. A frenemy is a person, in my opinion, and from what I've heard is, and this is how we're going to end it up on that and then try to come with something positive. A frenemy is a person that is close to you, that you feel that's your friend, but they actually don't want to see you succeed. And what's so damaging, or what could be so hurtful about a frenemy, is that they're so close to you that they know a lot of personal things about you, and that can be used to be twisted against you. But this is my buddy, my friend, and I'm sharing things with you, but really, like you said earlier, I'm jotting this down about you to come back later and say that we have to be and I'm serious, we have to be very serious. And like Charlene said, if you have a friend of me, you better cut them off, because there's nothing good that can come out of that. And let them find their self, and like you said, work on their self. If you can't fix them, just get them out your life. And I believe that that's real or whatever. I may get some darts thrown at me for saying that, but get them out your life. Do you have any frenemies in your life, or have you had any frenemies that you've come across? We'll kind of go around and just.
I have. I don't know if I've had frenemies. I've definitely had people that I've outgrown and had to get past. And that's what it is. It's just I outgrew, or I realized that my direction was going in a different direction what they wanted to go. So, and I don't feel there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with going your own direction.
Sure,
and and I actually ran into a friend just the other day, and I was like, wow. And I've always imagined in my head, well, what would happen if I ran into this person again? Because we used to hang and kick it tough, and just some things happened over the years, and I was like, what would happen? And I seen her, and of course, she just looked
Threw
down.
shade?
She looked ashamed. Really, she was like ashamed. She's having several kids, and and
self-esteem
her life was
and
just a little
self-worth.
different, right? And her life was going a little bit
Self-esteem and
different, but it was
self-worth.
like it was just kind of like, and I didn't look bad on her, you know. I just said,
Right.
you know what, I wish you the best, you know. She's like, oh, I know it's so bad, you know, and I'm like, no, it's not. Like, you know, that's your situation. Make the best of it, you know, because I could have easily been there. It wasn't but the grace of God that kept me where I'm at.
We all,
you know,
that's what,
so-
see, don't let the stilettos fool you. You know, we all,
You know they banging all right.
because we all could be somewhere, right? You know what I'm saying? What about you, Chanel? Friend of me? Have you ever had one? Have you ever experienced that?
I have. You know what? I think it's when you try to see the best in everybody. You want to give some people some chance. You can look at them and you don't want to say that they're not necessarily on your level or they haven't made it there yet. But them being around you, you hoping, hey, they can catch on, they can learn, and then they can find out who the best person that they are. But they will try to tear you down. They will try to sell your soul to the devil behind your back, and they'll try to throw mud on your name. But baby, let me tell you something. You ever try to take Chanel Poe down, it's always gonna backlash on yourself. It's gonna backlash.
With these words, what was that color? Purple.
Don't do right by me.
It's gonna backlash on yourself, because the thing is that I was trying to show, again, I'm trying to show you what real love is. I'm trying to show you what real sisterhood is. I'm trying to show you what being by your friend's side, believing in your friend, being there for them. Don't look at them and automatically think. See, the problem is we got too many damn assumptions, excuse me. We got too many damn assumptions out there when we look at somebody. You may look at somebody like, oh, she pretty. Oh, she got this. She got that. Oh, she look like this. Oh, she got this, this, and that. Oh, she dressed like this. You have no idea.
Yeah. You don't know where people have walked in. They
You don't know
footsteps where they
what I went
got.
through to get to where I'm at.
Exactly.
And baby, I'm still climbing. I'm not even nowhere there. This is just the beginning stage.
So what happened with that friend of me?
I had to let this person go because these people, it was a couple of people. It tried to spread, and they tried to tear me down. And now all they can do is I don't even want to say look from afar, because we're nowhere in the same circle. Because I'm so busy up here, I don't have time for nothing down here. And my whole point is that it doesn't necessarily mean your class level. It doesn't necessarily mean your socioeconomic status.
Right.
It means your behavior. It means your mentality. And that's something that I just will not be around and not tolerate. Sometimes it makes you feel like, do I want to accept somebody like this in my life again, who may not look like this? But again, because see, sometimes we have to go with perception, okay? So
Your enemies are sneaky.
And they come in all different shapes. They come dressed like diamonds, and they come dressed like wolves on the road. So it depends on how you want to manage that. But the thing is that don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself for having an open heart and wanting to be there for that person. But at the same time, that's why you have to pray. I pray to God for discernment. Teach me about these people. Lord, please reveal to me what are their intentions, because I know that my intentions is nothing but love. I want to see them shine. I'll be taking my girls out. I'll be like, you see my girl, she is rocking it, right? Because that's awesome. I'm proud to be around people like that. It makes me feel good when I can say, oh, I have a friend that's an attorney. I say, oh, well, Lady Tyler, she does her own thing. Or I can say I have a friend that's a beauty squad, a glam squad. When I look at what you guys have going on, I see so much more. I think about people that I'm talking to and connecting with fashion designers and people who are here to saying they get married, and just putting you in all these different type of circles that you may have never been exposed to. But frenemies, they get the dirt. They get buried under the dirt. And I'm going to let them bury themselves, because you know what? For you to have such an evil heart, to be so jealous and so envy, to try to take someone else's, whether it's their idea, whether you're trying to embody the person that they are, it goes to show who you are. So again, I would just really say, pray for discernment, so you do not be around some of those people. And you have to watch yourself.
Arlene, friend of me?
I would say that I agree with everything you said. And the most important thing is your relationship with God. And I think wherever you're trying to go in life, you have to always be faith-centered. You know? And so when I talk about cutting people off, I'm not saying that because, again, it's not about education. It's not about how much money they make.
I'm glad you cleared that up too. I mean, not that I thought that, but
it's
yeah.
not about any of that. It is about, I want people around me who I can be happy for you, and you can be happy for me, whatever you do. And those who know me know I don't only surround myself with people that are in a certain class, because I don't look at myself like that. That's not, I mean, that to me is superficial, it's shallow. But I would say to you, I had an experience with a woman, and this was a few years ago, and I had a woman who brought it to my attention. She said to me, she said, I don't know if you know it. She said, but that woman hates you.
Wow.
And
Hate.
I said,
That's a strong
really?
word.
I was shocked.
Wow.
She said she talks about you like a doll. That was shocking to me because this was a woman who had come in my home. I shared very personal things about my life, stuff that I don't share with a lot of people.
That's a frenemy, the closeness, exactly.
And I had no idea that behind my back she was saying all these different
hurtful
things. And I spoke to a good friend of mine, and we met each other almost 20 years ago. He's a guy, and we were talking yesterday, and I had him on speaker because my daughters were in the car. And he said, you know what? You've been the same person. He said, people who just meet you, they have no clue. You have always spoken like that. So people who think you're doing that because you're an attorney, that's just who you are.
Right, okay.
And it is. That's me.
Right.
This is just me. I think the longer you know me, the more you realize Charlene isn't trying to put on airs. I have my days where I'm giggly and I'm funny, but for the most part, I'm a serious person.
I am very, very happy because you have chosen a path that brings you joy and you're still able to help people. But if I'm sitting here being upset with you, or I want to be close to you, and I'm talking about you behind your back, that goes to show how empty I am inside.
We need to wrap it up. I think it's getting kind of dark out here, huh? I want to, just before we leave, Aisha, a friend of me, I'm sorry.
I experienced actually having a friend that I outgrew, and because of that, she turned into a friend of me.
Wow.
So I had to experience the whole cutting the friend off and stuff like that. And even when I saw her later, she was like, oh, I miss my friend. And at that point, I was like, I miss my real friend too. Before you turned into what you know what I mean?
You threw that in there.
Huh? Yeah.
I miss my real friend. But this has been real. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate you guys being so candid. This was awesome. Therapy. I know this was like a little therapy group, huh? So sisterhood, right?
Always.
Sisterhood.
Always.
All right.